So welcome everyone to this Q&A session for the Master in Anti-Corruption and Diplomacy. So my name is Batistel and I'm here today with my colleague Shiny, and we're working at the Division for Multilateral Diplomacy at UNITAR here in Geneva. I am delighted to have you all join in today for this Q&A session on the Master in Anti-Corruption and Diplomacy. We are glad to have as part of this session today, Mr. Pawan Kumar Sinha and Mrs. Gertrude Mongla and Mrs. Deborah Martins-Ferreira. So Mr. Pawan Kumar Sinha and Mrs. Gertrude Mongla are together working at IACA, and they oversee the development and implementation of IACA's academic programs, and they are the main focal point for the Master in Anti-Corruption and Diplomacy. And today here with us, we also have Mrs. Deborah Martins-Ferreira, who is a compliance and due diligence specialist, and she's about to start similar position in a bank in the Netherlands. Deborah joined the program in September 2022, and she's one of our students who were working and pursuing the master's degree at the same time, and she will be providing us her personal student testimonial later in this session, and you will also have the opportunity to ask her questions. So I will start with a brief introduction and presentation of the program, and we will then take some time with IACA to answer all your questions. So the Master in Anti-Corruption and Diplomacy is delivered jointly by the International Anti-Corruption Academy, IACA, and the United Nations Institute for Training and Research. The MSc is conducted in a blended format over 18 months with a mixture of campus-based and online events. One of the program modules will take place for 1 week at the UNITAR headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, accompanied by a guided visit of the United Nations office in Geneva. Designed as an in-career program, the MSc has a compact structure and covers 2 disciplines, namely anti-corruption and diplomacy. And the program offers a series of interdisciplinary modules which concentrate on concepts and practical tools for preventing and countering corruption and diplomacy. So please kindly find in the chat the link to the MSc program page. The program consists of 7 dedicated modules dealing comprehensively with subjects of anti-corruption and diplomacy, with only the best experts in the field teaching the courses. So the program covers a wide range of subjects and cross-cutting themes related to studies of anti-corruption and diplomacy, ethics, law, digital and cyber diplomacy, the politics, sociology, and economics of anti-corruption, but it is also presenting you the essential skills for an international career, and these are skills such as negotiation, effective writing, leadership skills, public speaking, or stakeholder engagement. Here on the slide, you have a list of the different modules and how you will notice at the end, you will have a master thesis research, and you can ask any questions you would have about this process in the Q&A we're going to have later. You will find in the chat a link to our model overview for more comprehensive details on this point. Now, the MSc has a bit of a unique study plan. So for every module, you will first have a pre-study phase in which you will have all the relevant materials and you will be able to get to know the topics a little bit more and to also do the readings, listen to any podcast or any videos the expert would have given to you. This will then be followed by an interactive phase in which you will have the live session and the opportunity to discuss directly with the expert and your colleagues. And finally, you will have a post-study research phase in which you will have the time to work on your assignments. You will also have diverse forums and discussions on several different topics. And all this will be provided to you on a dedicated e-learning platform, and you will benefit from IACA and UNITAR support during the entire module. You will find in the chat the link to the academic calendar, and I'm now going to tell you how you can apply to this program. So to apply, you will have to complete the MSCD application form, which is available on both IACA and UNITAR websites. It is also there in the chat. The MSCD application form will require you to fulfill all your personal detail and information. And you will then have to upload the several documents that are mentioned here in the list. This is like a copy of your CV, your bachelor degree, your academic transcript, the letters of recommendation, a proof of English language proficiency, a professional photo, a copy of your passport, and a personal statement. You can have further details of all the several documents and the requirements for each on our website. And the second step would be to pay the application fee of €100. And once again, you will be guided on our respective websites on how to pay this and how to proceed to complete your application. So before we move to the student testimonial and the Q&A session, I wanted to recap the main information. So the program is going to start at the end of September this year. As mentioned, the format is blended, so most of the module will take place online, but you will have 1 week, so one module that is going to take place at UNITAR headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. The program is composed of 6 modules with 1 thesis, bringing us to a total of 18 months. It's worth 90 ECTS credits, and the global fee is €17,900. You can scan the QR code that is in the slide to have more information. And once again, all the links in the chat will bring you to the informative page, web page on the program. So we will now listen to Mrs. Deborah Martins Ferreira as she will share her experience of the MSCD program, and she will also explain us how it has impacted her life and career. Deborah, thank you very much for being here with us today, and the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, good evening. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. As Batista said, I'm alumni for the MECT program. I'm just finalizing the program now. I'll be defending my thesis in a few weeks. And my background is actually in security management studies. And since my undergraduate project, I've been involved in ABAC, anti-bribery, anti-corruption policies, and interested in studying about that. As Batista also said, I currently live and work in the Netherlands. I am originally from Brazil, so I always been interested in how those two countries relate and communicate and how it's different in that sense. Since then, I've been working in the private sector and more specifically in the financial sector, doing compliance, due diligence related to this field. But I always been interested also again in the public sector. So when I found a master's program that combined the public sector and the initiatives in anti-corruption, anti-bribery, that was what I say, okay, this is perfect for me. And having the opportunity to learn from some of the most incredible experts in the field. We learn from diplomats, we learn from very renowned authors in anti-corruption, as well as having the opportunity to learn from my colleagues, as shown as well in the slide. Annette, that is a prosecutor in Kenya, has been such an enriching experience. So I went into this program very much willing to absorb the most, and the program has so much to offer in all the diverse aspects. So it's been, very interesting, very enriching, the different models as well. So we had the opportunity as well to go to Geneva and to meet everyone in person and to learn not only about anti-corruption, but also negotiation skills, project management, and criminology, international law. It's how diplomacy is currently going in the 21st century. So it's been, yeah, extremely enriching experience. It's been great, and I couldn't recommend more this program.
Thank you so much, Deborah, for your testimonial. It was a pleasure having you as part of the MSc cohort. We wish you all the best. And I would like to tell our participant that we will now proceed with the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can type them in the Q&A section that shows on your screen. You can also raise your hand if you would like to ask the question with your microphone. Questions could be answered by IACA, UNITAR, but Deborah is also there if you have any specific questions related to the student experience. So I will start with the first one that we have and give the floor to our colleagues at IACA. So what is the program fee again? What is included? And is it possible to pay in installments?
Hey, Gertrude, are you there? Anyway, I will answer this question. I'm the Director of Academic Programs at IACA, and we are managing this program with UNITAR. Babstile, thank you for inviting me here. And the question, let me come to the question. The fee is 17,900 euros, and these are paid in 3 installments. There are first 2 installments are in the first year of the program, and the 3rd installment is in the 2nd year. If anybody has difficulty, it can be broken into 4 parts, but additional installment has slightly 50 or some euros, some extra fee for making additional installment. So yes, this is all regarding the fee payment.
Great. Thank you very much, Pawan. And we have a question requesting clarification regarding the scholarship situation for this program.
Gertrude?
Thank you very much. We have no scholarships available for this program for this year. We are encouraging all applicants to seek alternative sources of funding, perhaps to approach their employers and other institutions that may be providing scholarships.
Great, thank you very much, Gertrude. We now have a specific question on the thesis. So how many words and what are the modalities of the thesis?
Okay, maybe I'll answer this. So thesis for MACD program is between 15,000 to 18,000 words. So plus you may get an additional 10% with special permission in case you want to exceed it. Structure and other things, thesis, I'll just give a bit of background how thesis is written, though it's not the direct question, but just to let everybody know that from the 3rd module onwards, you start preparing for the thesis. And in the 4th module, which is done in Geneva, we give a full, advice how to select your topic. And of course, then you have to submit an initial research proposal. Once research proposal is submitted, by around 5th or 6th module, you get your supervisor. And under supervisor, you get about 5 to 6 months to do your research. So somewhere around, like for this current class, the submission of thesis was on 2nd May, and the defense is going to happen in next 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now. So this is all for regarding master thesis.
Thank you very much, Pawan. We can maybe group the 2 following questions. So what are the time for the live session? I live in Australia and it's getting quite late here. And second question, is the week in Geneva compulsory?
Okay, the live sessions are generally held between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Of the Vienna time, the CET, the Central European time, which is about, say, between 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. in Australia, depending on which part of Australia you live in. We have students from Australia, and many of them do prefer it, right? Rather, because they can easily do it from home and not during the office hours. For others, generally it is office hours. They have to spend a little bit of 90 minutes session, or sometimes 180 minutes. We do not have sessions more than 2 in a day. So 90-minute session during evening should not be a problem in Australia. We have lecturers from Australia. We have also students from Australia, China, Malaysia, almost similar time zone. But of course, choice is yours, whether it suits you or not. The second question is about, just a second.
It's about, is the week in Geneva, so module 4 compulsory?
Week in Geneva is generally compulsory. We have a hybrid module, and we expect everybody to come there. But in case anybody is unable to join for whatever reasons, which has to be defined, of course, and explained to us, then we allow you to attend the session in a hybrid mode. But we always prefer that this is the only chance to be in person, and ideally students should come together and know each other. It has a lot of advantages. But as I said, if you do not attend, it will not be penalized.
Great, thank you, Pawan. The two next questions: what is the size of the cohorts, and what networking opportunities do we have after the program?
The size of cohort varies from, if I recall, first cohort was 11 and then varies to 13. We expect somewhere around 15, ideal situation, but we do not have a big cohort because that doesn't allow a good interaction with the students. So we have planned that we will keep definitely cohort within 20. But as experience says, in the last 3 years, it varies from 11 to 13. And of course, this cohort comes from different countries. That's an amazing thing. If we have a cohort of 13, we have students coming from 10 to 11 countries.
Thank you, Pawan. And for the second part of the question, so about the networking opportunities, maybe I can respond for UNITAR side, and you can follow with what it's like for IACA, but we can definitely tell you that following the master's degree will give you access to UNITAR alumni platform, and it's a huge network composed of participants from master's program and online and in-person training from all around the world. So it's a really big network that you will have access to. And I can also tell you from the previous cohorts that the participants kept great relation with their colleagues from the cohort, but also the experts and the professors. So it's a real great opportunity. And there is also a great moment to do this. It's during the module 4 that is taking place in Geneva, because you are here in the City of International Relations in person. So it's also a great moment to increase your network. And Pawan, I leave you the floor for IACA's side.
Yes. So from IACA side, we have a network of nearly 5,500 alumni. Master students are out of them are about 300-400. But it's a very strong alumni network, and we also give opportunity to our students and alumni, depending on every situation, to be IACA delegate in any conference which is happening where IACA is participating. Of course, we cannot have a big delegation, so we keep it on a first come first serve basis. From your previous class, we had students attending at Atlanta, the cusp of UNODC, as IACA delegate. We also had our alumni from MACD again, who was from Canada, I think. She also attended as IACA delegate. So again, I'm saying, depending on whether IACA is attending, if any event is happening in Vienna, in the UN, again, if IACA is attending, you can go as IACA delegate. So these are various opportunities. And when you go as IACA delegate, you definitely meet a lot of IACA people who also come to the conference because they have attended some session or other of IACA. So it's a very good network.
Thank you very much, Pawan. We now have a question for Deborah. So Deborah, how did you balance work and studies? Was the program flexible to attend? What are your main insights on these points?
Well, I was working as well during the time of the program. One thing that I was able to negotiate at my work was that I was working 32 hours per week. And during the weeks that I had interactive sessions as shown there, so it's not the whole time. So it's only, well, a few weeks within each module that you're gonna have the lectures. So in my work, I was able to negotiate those will be the hours that I wouldn't work, because for me in the time in the Netherlands was during the afternoons. So I was organizing in a way that I could attend as most, I would highly recommend to attend the lessons because it's very interesting. You get to interact with the professor, so you can ask all the questions about the articles that you read, and also with your colleagues. So it was challenging, of course, and especially now as well with writing a thesis and working. But it's definitely doable. In my work, they were understanding that during these weeks that I would have classes, my schedule would be a little bit different. But also if something happens that you miss a lecture, these are saved on the system online that you can go back and watch and learn again. So the program, it's also from IACA side, is very understanding that everyone, most of the people attending the program is already working, so have different times, different schedules, different time zones. So it is definitely doable. I think that was the whole question.
Yes, thank you very much, Deborah. I think you already answered the next one, but
Okay.
Catherine is asking you, how many hours exactly did you study per week? And do you get one-on-one time with your supervisor during the thesis writing time? So maybe you can start and IACA can complete then.
Yes. So during the process of writing the thesis, you have the contact of your supervisor. So you are also responsible for reaching out, for talking and scheduling the conversations. My supervisor was on a different time zone than me because he's based in the US. So it was a long hours difference. So I knew about that, and he knew about that as well. So it was manageable. It is the responsibility of the student to keep that contact and the channel of communication open for feedback and doing the writing of the thesis process. And since I didn't have anything pending from other modules, which was good, so I didn't have to resit anything else, it went rather smoothly in that process, I think.
Great, thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
Pawan, I don't know if you would like to add anything to the thesis and supervisor aspects.
Yeah, I mean, the way we do master thesis, we organize is we put the best people around the world. We have best supervisors who are experts of anti-corruption, I would say. Maybe, Deborah, you must be happy about your supervisor, I guess. So, of course, because of that, we always match the subject experts more or less, or somebody is an expert of anti-corruption research methodologies so that they can properly guide the students. So supervisor can come from any zone. We try to put to the closer zone possible, but sometimes it doesn't happen. But it is always possible to have an hour or so in a fortnight to have a talk, or many times it only happens mainly through emails, but you get the best supervisors when you are writing a thesis.
Great, thank you, Pawan. We're going to accept the last questions. Just to tell you, we're going to end up in 4 to 5 minutes. So if you have anything, please feel free to type in the Q&A section. The next question would be, what kind of backgrounds do you favor for this program? Do you accept undergraduate degrees in area other than international relations and law?
Can you repeat the question? I was missing some connection, I think.
Sure, no problem. So the question was, what kind of backgrounds do you favor for this program? Do you accept undergraduate degree in areas other than international relation or law?
Yeah, we are accepting people from any discipline, actually. So if you are already done a bachelor's degree with any discipline, I would say, we will accept you. Ideally, when we examine the applications, we look for your motivation, how you are going to contribute after learning from the program. The people who are already in anti-corruption field and who have worked on it will definitely get some kind of preference, but it doesn't mean that others cannot, because we want to create the experts of anti-corruption, as I call, because I claim the IACA UNITAR program. After you finish it, you will be the expert of anti-corruption. And it's a MACD program is a unique mix of diplomacy. So if you have international relations, it's fine. If you don't, you still learn it. Like there we have many diplomats who are studying on the program. And I definitely ask them questions that you are already diplomats, how much you are learning from diplomacy. And they say a lot, because this program, one of the finest experts are brought by UNITAR on the program. So it is, again, very short answer to your question is you can come from any discipline, and but you should have really interest in anti-corruption and diplomacy. That's the most important part.
Thank you, Pawan. We'll now go with the two last questions. So the first one, is there access to a library to assist with readings? And the second one is about the ceremony, the graduation ceremony. How does it take place, and how can we attend? When is it, and how it's going to be?
Okay, first is about readings. The way we design our program, we provide every reading possible, which is divided into mandatory and optional readings. All mandatory readings are 100% provided to all the students, and optional readings almost 90% provided. Sometimes it happens that it could be an option, or it may be a paywall, which we don't like otherwise. And the students also have access to e-library of IACA. IACA has some chosen, not a very huge list, I would say, but we have some chosen books on anti-corruption. But again, I'm saying our program is so designed that you get everything on which is necessary to read, but you get a huge amount of materials free online. So we always ask students to learn to do even research, how to find your readings, not the readings which are prescribed, but additional readings. So readings and materials and resources is not a problem for the program. And the graduation ceremony, it happens at IACA, which is in Austria. So after pandemic, I think we for the first time met on last year on 6th of December. This year, 4th of December, graduation ceremony is taking place in person. It's in hybrid, which means those who cannot join can still participate, but those who can come here, they will be most welcome.
Great. Thank you very much, Pawan. Thank you also to all the participants who asked questions. We're now coming to the end of the session. So I would like to thank again IACA for being involved in this program and for the support in this Q&A. Thank you very much, Deborah, for providing your student testimonial. It was very pleased to hear about you and to hear about your involvement in the MSCD. I'm thanking also all the participants who attended the session. As mentioned, the session has been recorded and is going to be on our website. So if you have any questions or anything you would like to re-listen to, it will be accessible. The next cohort is going to start in September. This year, as mentioned, you have till the end of the month of August to apply. All the informations are on our website, which is in the chat, and you can also scan the QR code on this slide to have a direct access to it. Please find in the chat as well my contact details as well as on the slide. And if you have any questions or if you need any assistance with your application, please don't hesitate. So thank you again to all of you. It was a pleasure meeting and seeing you, and have a good day.
Thank you, Webster Lynn. Thank you,
Thank you very
Deborah.
much.